Right. Thanks, Craig.
Yeah. So Craig is our recording bot that's going to record our whole conversation.
Nice.
Beautiful.
And, it's going to record us to different tracks too.
So you can make like a vaporwave track.
Yes. Please don't talk about vaporwave, please.
Yeah, no, done. That's the one. I will never mention it again.
I have to stop you right there because what is vaporwave?
Oh, all right.
Oh, it's just about it's
I've
like
never-
you know how there used to be screensavers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar and just as irrelevant.
Okay. Okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. All right. That sounds pretty pointless.
It pretty much is just purposely sounding like infomercial music. Anyway, shall we introduce ourselves and then maybe break into some of these prompts I have here?
Yeah.
I figure, Mike, we'll just go through the same ones Kevin had
Okay. That sounds great.
with Mr. Pettit here.
That
Anyways.
sounds great. They're all good topics to touch upon.
So I start here. My name's Cody.
World famous.
What's that?
Actor extraordinaire.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, not now. I do some theater stuff, but it's all shut down. So, I have other jobs, but I play games, and I grew up with these guys.
Except me.
And I think those of us in our early 30s have something to say.
You were there in spirit, Michael.
I tried. I was playing Super Metroid. I hope that counts.
If you had gone to our school, we would have been really good friends, but
yeah,
I probably would have picked on you a lot.
It's okay. I was pretty pick-onable.
It's like I would really like people because we could talk about games together, but then I would just be an asshole to them. I don't know why.
No.
Cody can attest.
I guess we met each other at the right time.
I think our friend group knew how to recognize what was underneath all that.
Yes.
Like we all had our weird ways of dealing with what was going on with our circumstances. Like,
yes. I like how we're just getting super deep already and
perfect.
Yeah. No,
but really, like, what are we here to talk about? I actually have no idea. It's probably video games, right? Like, what?
Dude, yesterday I was saying to Jesse, I'm like, hey, so me, Mike, and Kevin are gonna record a podcast. And he's like, oh, what's it about? And I was just like, what do you fucking think it's gonna be about, dude?
Probably the big bad Beetleborgs, I would assume.
Oh man.
In part. Yes.
Is that what we're talking about?
I thought we were doing Street Sharks.
Whoa. We're gonna need to like plan out a 4-episode thing.
Sorry, or Biker Mice from Mars.
I was just talking to somebody earlier today about all of those shows.
Biker Mice from Mars can shave off my asshole, cook it up, and eat it.
Like, you know what? I'm driving up there.
It's not good.
I'm going to Ashland right now.
So you can throw down
your location. Location confirmed, Cody.
I've never seen Biker Mice from Mars. I just wanted to say something shocking.
Oh man.
I can confirm that. I can confirm that the SNES game of Biker Mice does suck.
I assumed so. I'm going by character design and I hate it. So that's why
Well, you're not far off. It's not very good. It's no Street Sharks. It's really not.
Yes. Didn't Street Sharks run for like a season?
Probably. I don't even know.
I remember my friend came to school and I was like, "Hey, I got a Street Sharks toy," and he's like, "I got Killamari," because that was actually one of the villain characters' names.
Oh man.
Hello.
Cody, can you still hear us?
Oh, hello. I'm here now.
Uh-huh.
Did you disappear?
Uh, I guess. I asked what the topic was.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. It's all right. What this is what Kevin wrote to start us off last time, but I figure we'll just rehash it. Kevin says, "We've seen, and more importantly, experienced the evolution of video games from the earliest bits to the present. What does that mean to you to be part of the video gaming revolution since its inception?"
Yeah.
Either you guys can take that, or I guess I could start. Nobody?
I'm thinking.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a deep topic. I think that's what's special about see, I already can't even form a coherent thought.
I guess to trim it down a little bit, we're talking about our position, our standpoint in the history of the medium.
Okay. I think I can. I mean, I think I have something that I've thought about on this subject for a while, if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I I think of video games as an entirely separate medium than something like movies or art. It's a form of art to me. I know that's perhaps pretentious,
No,
No.
I
but
believe exactly the same way.
yeah, and sometimes it's hard for me to discount the parallels to 100 years ago when movies and cinema were first coming out and people called them novelties and people were just trying things and experimenting, and maybe whatever film you came out with was important just because you were pushing the limits of what you could do with it before you kind of honed in what made it art. I think we're getting to a point now with video games where it's been around for 50 years now, and it's starting to really form into art. And not that it wasn't art before, but like it's recognizable as art. And
Yeah.
we've grown up, as the prompt says, like watching that evolution, and I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I consider my background specifically at the beginning of 16-bit games, um, both for console and for MS-DOS. I feel like I got to see almost the comparable to the development of silent films into sound films.
Mhm.
As far as genre types being invented, um, I feel like the 90s was sort of a exponential leaps from year to year as far as technology, but also the quality of design as game design became sort of an actual profession.
Yeah.
And I felt, um, I wouldn't say we were there at the beginning of gaming. It's like we weren't Atari kids, really. Um, but I do feel like we were at the beginning of the games industry.
Yeah.
Especially you, Cody, since you actually had some NES games.
Yeah. I mean, I
Um,
think it's like we were there when online gaming happened. We were there when online happened, you
Mhm.
know?
Dial
So
up and all of the original phases of all of that.
and I was in a sort of interesting, unusual position in my life because my father was really into computers at sort of an early time. And so I was the friend who would go over to someone's house and say, "Hey, have you been on the internet?" And the other kid would say, "What's the internet?"
Yeah.
And I would proceed to set up AOL on their computer or something and introduce these people to the internet, peers of mine. So I guess in that sense, I was really ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as what it means to me personally, I feel like a love of video games has really defined how I see the world.
Yeah.
Um, it's defined to me like where my happy place is. Um, I think that's in a virtual world. I think if Kevin was here tonight, he would attest to that in himself as well.
Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely.
What about you, Mike?
Well,
By the way, are you still playing Dark Souls?
I am.
Nice.
I
Multitasking.
I am currently playing Dark Souls 2, and man, am I just grinding away and dying a bunch of times because, well, it's just really hard. Anyway, that kind of goes back to what you were saying though about video games becoming your happy place of sorts, especially being as a young person, not really being able to find other things to identify with, and when you
Yeah.
find that you identify with video games, like, oh, here's a fantasy world. And, as kids, we loved fantasy. We loved, I hated reading. I absolutely could not sit still and read a book to save my life as a child, or even as a teenager, or even as a young adult. And, but video games are interactive. And I think that was the biggest part of why I was able to connect so well with it. But,
I think you put it really well in a way that resonated with me when you said that you identified with video games.
mm, hmm
Yeah.
I think that something that we were there at the advent of was the character of the gamer.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah,
It split
Really,
off from what I have become now, but yeah.
yeah, I
Like,
mean, there's the number of people playing games and the way that people are playing games are so drastically different now. Um,
yeah,
now
versus
then,
the 90s persona of like gamer, was a kind of a
yeah,
cheesy sort of thing.
it had sort of just materialized as a term.
Mhm.
And through the years, I've identified as and not identified as a gamer as the industry took different turns. Um, I haven't owned a mainstream console since the 360 at this point. So I sort of stopped paying attention to a lot more of the more recent ones.
Yeah.
And that's why, if anything, I identify strongly with the retro gamer subset. And I think, Cody, you would probably say exactly the same about yourself, if I'm correct.
Kind of. I think I'm a little different in that I like keeping up with the new stuff too. I always pretty much have, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I guess you never really took a break from that, huh?
the one time I took a break was like right after high school. Um, but I got like back into it when I started working at Blockbuster. Like I don't know how personal we want to get on this discussion, but like it really was when I started working at Blockbuster and I started having access to like everything that I
Yeah,
got back into it, you know. But just from a standpoint of someone who grew up with you, like I think you always had a very discerning taste in terms of like, I don't think you just cut off completely at the Xbox 360 era. I think you never, I think I always came to you. Like, if you recommended a game to me, even if I was in middle school, I knew it was probably something to take a look at. You know what I mean? So that's a perspective I think that you shouldn't discount.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I do think that we should get personal with this
Hmm.
because that's what this is about. It's about
I mean, yeah.
what it means to be to let such a large portion of our our culture to be this medium, like you said, Cody.
What you know what I think? What is the most recent game all of you have been playing?
A lot of Smash 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Smash 4.
Returning to Dark Souls again. But other than Dark Souls, I've been playing Animal Crossing for the Switch, which is
Yeah,
pretty great.
it is. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
Um,
But what
I
about you?
I've been playing Bug Fables, which is like an indie game on the Switch, which is very Paper Mario like, but with
I
bugs. But
haven't heard of it.
yeah, it's pretty good. But I just recently moved to a new house and didn't have internet for a while, so I was kind of revisiting some retro stuff. And just to make myself comfortable in my new spot, I played through Sonic Adventure, um, which is so good. And currently playing Goemon's Great Adventure on my EverDrive 64.
Oh, nice.
Are you getting punished, dude?
Yeah, it's really hard, actually.
It's a very difficult game.
By the way, EverDrive 64 plug, I guess. It's good shit. I don't know.
I'm tempted.
No, probably shouldn't. It's a luxury for sure. Like, you don't need it. You can just play it on your computer. But like,
True, I could, but that
yeah,
doesn't stop me from collecting a ton of cartridges.
that's yeah, I know. I know.
I I had someone over at my house from Tinder actually. And she just looked at my shelves, which were those shelves left in your room, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I didn't even know there were that many video games. In reference to my nearly 100 Nintendo 64 cartridges that are proudly
Nice.
on display.
Nice.
And that is she your age? Is she like you guys the same age?
Oh. Yeah, I just think sorry, that was sort of a pointless story.
No. That actually is kind of a segue into an interesting point because somebody that's, around the same age as all of us could have grown up not even knowing about video games or knowing they exist, but like to look at a shelf of games and be like, "Oh, I didn't even know there were that many." And you're like, "That's just one system."
Also,
Yeah.
someone our age, I think, was
And
more likely to keep it a little bit secret from people that you have it
yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. It's funny how that is
to it.
too. Like how it used to be like a geeky thing to be a gamer kid or whatever, and like, oh, you're into computers or oh, you're into video games, or people are like, oh, I don't know about that stuff.
We were there for the separation of hardcore games and casual games.
Hmm.
And I guess I don't know where in those two categories I would put things like Halo and Call of Duty. We were there for that too, the rise of the online multiplayer AAA game.
Yeah.
And we were
And
there
like,
for um I don't know, Cody, you'd probably have better terminology for this, but we were there for the beginning of AAA games
Yeah.
that I would say were made in a comparable fashion to the Marvel films.
Yeah, well, I mean, stuff like that EA bought out, like Mass Effect and like Dead Space and stuff like that. Even going into like Uncharted and stuff, where it really was this high budget, like this is a movie experience kind of. We're blending story and action and stuff.
Yeah, I think
It's a roller coaster.
sort of the counterpoint, in my opinion, to your games as art, like it was the beginning. I would say EA and Ubisoft are a strong example of games as a product as well.
Yeah,
Um,
and there's an art within that, but um, you can go too far, you know.
yeah, I guess it's just the difference between movies that play at the multiplex or movies that play at the Palm.
Yeah, a
And
little bit.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
were able to see the separation of those two those two yeah.
But we can also see the intricacies, as in like, we can tell the difference between a Michael Bay movie, which is just kind of garbage, like, and like something like perhaps a really well produced Marvel movie, or something, or like a Taika
Or a Joel
Waititi film,
Schumacher movie.
or a Schumacher. Well, no, but that's more like a
R.I.P.
Suda 51 or whatever, or like a Spike Lee trip, or like you know like like a Jordan Peele thing, like where they have a big budget, they're a person, but there's an art behind it too. And that's where I see things like Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, where it's like, yes, it's a big budget thing, it's designed to make money, but like there's a soul behind it. As opposed to some of this other stuff where it's like, well, it's just mass appeal and there's nothing, I don't care. And that's
Yeah.
where I split off, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, and that was sort of the direction I saw games going around when I stopped playing new games.
Yeah,
And it sort of disillusioned me in the same way that going to the theater, which was also a very frequent practice of mine, um, I became disillusioned in the same way at both forms of entertainment
sure.
when I felt more like I was being marketed to. Because the number one thing I've always looked for in anything is just to see the art.
Same. I can relate to that very strongly. With and that's actually something that's kind of cool about old games, especially like it would come with an instruction manual, and the graphics for the games were terrible, but the characters gained this new life through the art and through the instructions or the strategy guides or whatever. It would always have the artwork. Like Ocarina of Time would have the really cool artwork of all the
Oh
Ruto and all
man,
of the
it
different
was
like
so good.
enemies and all the stuff, or like Metroid 2 on Game Boy. Awful, terrible graphics, but had these really cool drawings of these monsters and creatures and these space items,
Yeah,
and like, all of this stuff was so real because you had artwork to back it up. And
yeah,
nowadays games that don't come with anything like that, no additional content, it's just a different world. It's so weird. There's less imagination because it's all there in the game already.
yes, yes.
For the
That
players, I should say. Sorry, it's not that there's less imagination. It's games are very creative, and especially modern games can be very, very immersive and creative. That's not what I mean, but
oh no, I get
you
it.
get my point though.
But it does bring me back to I guess our main point here, how games define who we are. And I
Mhm.
guess I just realized while you were talking there that my other main interests, which would be art and music, originally stem from my interest in video games.
Mhm.
I became interested in art when I started to try and draw Pokemon,
Yeah.
which I drew a lot of drawings of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And my interest in music began with listening to the
Godzilla.
sound test in Mega Man X.
Yes.
So really just all of my interests, hobbies, passions all started with the original one, which was for me the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I definitely relate to that very strongly as well. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I can agree with that on all levels, music and art, and whatever else, really.
I mean, I sometimes am a semi-professional actor. Like that's how I make money sometimes, and I what sparked that within me when I was really little was sometimes the stories in games and feeling like I was inhabiting the character that was going through the story and being a part of telling the story was what drove me to the art that I most commonly practice, which is theater, which is being an actor. So, you know,
Yeah.
certainly. Um, yeah.
Shall we check out the next section?
Yeah.
And I don't know what sort of time structure you guys are on. I'm not gonna go to bed anytime soon.
Yeah. Can we curse?
What did you say?
Can we curse?
I thought you said Kid Icarus.
Oh, Kid Icarus is good. No, I was asking if I can say swears.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, it's my fucking weekend. I can do whatever the fuck. I can stay up fucking late.
Good, good.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm good for at least another hour, hour and a half.
I'm fine for however long.
All right, it'll just be the me and Cody show after that until 6 a.m.
Yep.
All right.
And that's the end of that chapter.
How do these stages of video gaming, I guess sort of covered some of this, but how do these stages of video gaming tie into your identity as an individual? How did these different eras of gaming shape you as a person? What games in particular were most important in your overall development as a human and why?
Yeah.
Well, lots of good things there. Well, Cody, if you have something to say, if you
No,
want
no,
to
no,
take,
no. You go. You go.
well, it's sort of like we talked about last time, just not being able to identify with people was very challenging as a young person, obviously, and that, I mean, we had friends, but the only thing we would talk about is video games, and uh, I don't know, just growing up and not being able to really maintain a whole lot of good relationships with people, I could always turn back to video games, and it was, um, in a lot of ways, very stunting to my growth as a person in a lot of ways, but
Mm.
also
You mean that?
beneficial in other ways
Yeah.
Yeah.
because, being like I never wanted to leave the house because I'm like, oh, what can I get from people that I can't get from video games? Because at that point, I'm like, well, I don't really need relationships with people if I have everything I want right here. It's creativity, it's fantasy, it's all of these things, which as a young person, it's healthy to socialize on some level. But
And this is exactly the kind of shit I wanted to discuss on this show.
uh-huh.
Which is this is a show, by the way. We need to come up with a name
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
It'll happen.
besides Fart Blaster.
I mean, that's good.
It's a great name.
Originally developed at the smokehouse.
It'll happen.
But
A
what I
name will
wanted
happen.
to talk to you about, Mike, is that sense of alienation
Mhm,
from other people and from our peers.
mhm.
Because I felt that that was a defining characteristic of my childhood and life to this point. is a
Yeah.
feeling of not being like everyone else.
Hmm.
And what do you think it was about playing video games that made us not feel like that anymore?
I see. Well, I definitely
And
think
that's for either of you.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't sorry, I don't want to like just take the mic here.
No, go. Yeah, I mean, you are the mic. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Mike. Uh, well, it was definitely like a psychological aspect to it, being that video games are something you can control, and being a young person that was a very shy and very afraid of doing anything against what I was told. I was raised in a very religious house, and um, I was just terrified of doing anything that was morally wrong or that I was not allowed to do or that I was told not to do. And video games allowed me to do exactly the opposite of that. It allowed me to just do whatever I want. And in that world, I could control whatever I wanted and be the character. And so I think that played a large part as a kid. It was that
Mhm.
freedom that allowed me to break free from that and experience life in my own way, where I just
Wow.
didn't have to do anything anybody told me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. But that ties in with just being a young person and that whole mentality. So, but yeah, that's just to, touch the tip of the iceberg there. Obviously, that's a whole, you know, psychological issue as a child
Yeah,
that
you
I've
could
had
make
to
an
struggle
entire
with my whole life, but,
yeah.
but, uh,
I mean, that's what we're talking about, though. It's a particular time to be growing up. Like,
mhm,
I think it's a different world with video games now.
mhm,
You know.
It is. There's a vast network of like-minded people. Um, I mean, just watching how my kid is developing with his interests. He's very interested in watching streams these days and watching YouTubers play things like Minecraft. And that's something relatively new, just
Yeah.
watching other people play games on the internet. But I think it's just as valid a way to experience them.
Yeah. But I watch streamers a lot now. I've in the last few years have transitioned. I think I watch streams more than I watch TV and stuff. And I think it's because it gives me those good, like, just down in my gut feelings of, like, when I used to hang out with people like you guys and play games, you know?
mm, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But whereas now there's literally millions of people interested in it. Back then, did you guys feel like you were the only people you knew that were had the same interests as you?
Yeah, I think I did.
yeah,
And,
definitely.
I grew up in a very small town area, you know? I mean, you
Yep.
guys know,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think everyone who was interested in video games was in our circle, you know? So,
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge way that video games ended up defining me as a person is in 2000 when I moved to Cambria. And
yeah.
I made a friend, my first friend I made based on
And
the
do you know
digital.
what? You immediately became friends with, like, right?
I'm sorry, did you cut out? Cody.
oh, we lost Cody.
Oh no.
Maybe I cut out.
Yeah, you did, but I can hear you
Damn,
now.
sorry. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you now. Well, now we can't
Back.
hear
Never
you.
mind.
Oh, now you're back.
We good?
We good.
Okay, cool.
Shit. I guess I can't mention the BOD.
Yeah, you should mention that.
Well, that's what cut me out, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. The first friend I made in an entirely new area that I had just moved to in 6th grade was based on a mutual love of Digimon show. But my best friends I would meet in 6th grade when I overheard you, Cody, and Colin talking about Goman.
Hey, I was playing
And
that today.
yes. Um, and being in a friendship with you guys would define my entire upbringing and very much shaped who I am today.
Colin's not here, but I think we both would say the same thing about befriending you.
Well,
Just say.
Colin would say, like, yeah, dude.
Well, me saying that was the me version of yeah, dude. I mean,
Or maybe he would say,
Juk. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is people. I mean, coming back to topic, people of our age in their like early 30s, right? I
yes.
think we're in a particular position of like on the cusp of it being okay to be someone who played video games, like right about there, you know. So we're looking for other people, and we found them, and those are our friends now, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like it's
It
it's it
it was it was the cure for that feeling of alienation.
yeah, because
I didn't
now it's fine, you know. Now it's I don't think young people care. They just everyone plays games. It's you know,
know, like
Right.
but
Zoe's entire school plays Minecraft.
yeah,
Right.
like it's a
Which
different, and that's good. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just like we had this very distilled, like we could recognize our people, you know. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
And, I wish that Kevin was here tonight because he actually has a lot of input on like a younger generation that's growing up with video games because he was in teaching for a while and I'm not sure if he's still pursuing that, but like what he mentioned before about um, in the classrooms, they're encouraging kids to, it's almost like newer generations are more interactive with one another than, at least in the school situations that he's described. Um, Kids are encouraged to participate in things together and work together, and where people like our parents' age are basically like, oh, that young generation is doomed because all they do is stare at their cell phones all day. But in fact, the technology is bringing them closer together. I think that was an interesting sort of observation on his part.
Yeah,
yeah,
I think so.
But just that it would, I guess it's different for, I don't know how that really ties into us, or you can't really compare us to them, obviously. I mean, we're in our 30s and kids now, that's just not the same.
I
Circumstances
think
are
it's
all different.
I think it's worthwhile too, though, like just to take a look at that's what our upbringings and why we think differently than they do.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm. I think today a kid could decide to get into Fortnite and then suddenly they're a member of a huge community.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we had that too. I decided to try out for a play, and suddenly I'm a theater kid.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah,
literally happened to me. Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
so.
mean, you had that, but I didn't do theater. I didn't play sports. My friend group was entirely centered around playing games together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, you say that, but like I think as we matured, like I mean, we by the time we were sophomores in high school, we could have. I mean, in fact, I did. My interests diverged a lot, and we remained friends. So
Yeah.
you forge certain friendships that don't get broken. But
Definitely.
that's also a thing. When we were in high school was about when social gaming happened, right? Like it became not like you meet up and get on a couch and maybe there was LAN for a couple years, but
Yeah.
then it was
Right.
internet, and I didn't completely join that. It like split off. I don't know. Did you guys? Like, I didn't have an Xbox, so I didn't do Halo, which was the big one. Like,
Yeah. I missed a lot of that too.
yeah.
Yeah, I really never liked online gaming. Partly because of the extremely toxic community,
Yeah,
even at
heard
the
a lot
time
of
when it
that.
was just beginning, but also because of the lack of face-to-face. Couch multiplayer was just that was my community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had your friends and you knew your friends.
And those of us who have experienced it, I think it's there's nothing like it, right? It's so
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I have to agree.
Like, and I don't want to discount online gaming because that's good. You know, there's it's good, but man, just like a little party where you set up a thing and everyone's playing. It's good shit.
Red Faction 2, dog.
Red Faction 2.
Red Faction 2. And with that, um, number 3. What does history and memory of gaming mean to you? How has it affected the way you understand your world?
Oh
Like, that makes
man,
me think of when we were talking about opening up a video game museum, the Museum of Media Memory.
that's still a really good idea.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
There are a couple similar things on the East Coast, but nothing over here.
Yeah, and Kevin was talking about setting it up as a nonprofit, 501c3.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
A
that is a
whole
good
lineup
idea.
of Raspberry Pis playing every game known to man.
Yeah. And to anyone listening to this, we already have the idea patented, so you can't come to our area and do it because we thought of it first. So
Well, no,
go.
because they have to come to the museum to watch live demonstrations of how to play Pokemon Go on 2 phones at once.
All right.
But hey, but you know what? That's the dumb thing is Pokemon Go is so important. You know?
It is.
It
Like
is. It really
it's
is.
yeah, like that's what needs to be preserved. And it's like, yeah, we've seen some of this other stuff happen, but like stuff's happening now. The Like I said, I always equivocate like the early 20th or the 21st century of video games as being very similar to the early 20th century of movies, where there was just this evolution of like it going from a novelty to just part of your life, you know, and respected as an art form.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a really good comparison. That is very, very well put.
And going forward, like, to be honest, my prediction is like VR is the next thing. So
Yeah,
Yes.
most
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, that was the next prompt, but
oh,
um,
sorry.
no, that's fine. Kind of relatively free form anyway.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't watch the whole movie, but I watched the beginning of Ready Player One, where the world is basically trash, and the kid goes to some like storage container to play a VR game, which is all he does every day.
Yeah.
And I could totally see it heading into that like cyberpunk future where VR has advanced to the point where it just replicates real life.
Most
And then you have
definitely.
I think we talked about this when we recorded before, Mike. We were both saying that basically the future of gaming is just Roy.
Yeah, that's right. Which Cody has definitely seen Rick and Morty,
Yes.
so understands the reference where Kevin has not. So
Right. But I mean, I really think that's it. Like to replicate real feelings of experience.
Yeah. I mean that's the horror version,
yeah,
but also like kind of likely. So
yeah, yeah. Because really, it's video gaming is just storytelling. It
yeah,
is
I think so.
at its core. It's obviously it's just stories. I mean, really, you can't have a good game without a good story. Well, maybe that's not true, but there is a lot of story behind most good games.
Well, it's an experience, right? Like you learn
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So you start the first time you ever play Pac-Man, you're a little better at it the next time you play Pac-Man, and
yeah,
that's a story, you know? But, like, you can do other things with it also. You can, eh, it's a medium, so
hmm,
because you can paint a picture of a flower, or you can paint a picture of a woman looking at a flower in a particular way, and
hmm,
that you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and video games are the same thing.
yeah. Like the kind of people that, like Will was saying earlier, how some people are completionists, depending
Yeah,
on how you play the game.
a good piece of art is one that every person experiences a different way.
Yeah, definitely.
But also
Totally.
entertainment is fun.
Yeah, and going back to games like Mega Man X, I mean,
You
you know,
know,
Yeah, let's talk
entertainment is
about Mega
fun.
Man.
I mean, how many times have I mean, Cody, I'm not sure how much Mega Man you've played because I don't know that I've discussed that with you or not, but
Oh, a little bit.
a lot?
Well, I'd say a lot of Mega Man, Cody, but not as much Mega Man X.
Okay, okay.
Not nearly as much Mega Man .exe because the Battle Network games are my favorite.
No,
Oh, that's right.
no one has ever played as much Battle Network as you.
Oh,
I
wow.
that I I've played a lot of Battle Network. Sorry.
Well, excellent. No, I mean, that's perfect. I remember you mentioning this now, in a previous conversation. I don't know how I forgot that.
They're not actually good games, but I love them.
They're good game. The first and second one are good, for
Oh,
sure.
actually, you're the first, second, and fifth are so good.
I
The
like
fifth
that
one
it
is
jumps
so
so
good. It's so weird. Like,
Damn
it
it,
shouldn't be,
Cody.
but it is.
Damn it.
fast. I did enjoy Mega Man Battle Network 1 and 2. I love those games. They are
Yeah.
great. Definitely. But I never played any of them after that, so I have no opinion. I just don't know.
The Mega Man Battle Network 5 is so good. It's a totally there's like a board game element. It's so good.
I'm glad that we have a resident expert uh,
Yeah.
tonight. That's But back to Mega Man X. I mean, I'm trying to remember here the original train of thought I was on with that. So the fact that we've beat that game hundreds of times, or
Yeah.
dozens of times, or whatever. We've beat that game a bunch of times, um, and some of it's mindless playing versus uh, some of the other games that we play. You know, like an RPG is a lot less mindless because there's less grinding, or there's you're not looking for patterns in so much as you are playing in a different way, I guess. I'm trying to remember my
Yeah,
original point here, but I'm sort of floundering.
that's okay, dude. I had an idea because this shit is pretty heavy. and I really wish that Kevin could weigh in on it. So, what if we take a short break, think of 2 different games that we just wanna spew about?
Mhm.
It can be old games that are awesome, be new games that we played recently.
Oh, man. That sounds
What do you think?
excellent.
Okay. I'm gonna keep recording, but I'll just edit this part out.
Okay.
Sorry. Hello.
Hey, Cody,
Hello?
Hey. Sorry.
did you just miss that entire thing?
I missed the last 2 minutes.
Dang it.
Sorry.
Well, I was sort of talking about derailing the conversation.
Oh. Did I derail the conversation?
No, not you. I was saying that I was
Not
gonna
no.
do that.
All right, let's derail. I'm sorry. I blinked off. I'm still getting used to this internet.
That's okay, dude. I think I'll just cut a bunch of this, and then we'll be fine. All right, so democratic method. We keep going through the prompts. I just feel like this has just been getting so heavy.
Yeah.
Sorry, we'll keep it light.
Okay. Okay. Why don't we just still hear me, Cody?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Um, maybe think of 2 games each and just sort of discuss them at large.
Ah. Um.
Should we focus on games that all of us have experienced or just games that we like in general?
I think it just should be the whatever 2 games you feel like talking about right now.
Okay.
Cool.
Retro, current, anything.
Cool.
I actually have 2 current games that have stood out since I've moved from California.
Awesome.
They're like new. I don't know if you guys have have played them or whatever. Because I have
Well,
plenty of retro games I can talk about, but I have 2 like newer games that I love.
all
Yeah.
right.
Let's talk about it.
And
That'll be
and
good.
and it's not like they're like weird choices. Like I just would legitimately like to hear you guys' thoughts.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
have you guys played Zelda Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
No, I have not.
I I my feelings since the first time I played it 3 years ago have just grown, and it's now my second favorite Zelda game.
Nice.
You're second. Wow.
It
And
is an excellent game.
and I feel like everyone surrounding me is just telling me why it's not very good, but I keep coming back to it. Like I
Really?
just yeah, like when I don't know what to play, I'm just like I want to turn on Zelda. And I haven't actually had that feeling since I was like in high school at least.
Yeah.
So it's weird how much I
Really?
want to play Breath of the Wild all the time. I've done everything in the game, but I just want to keep playing it. And I haven't had that feeling for a long time. So,
I find it really surprising that the people surrounding you are not as impressed with the game as you are,
yeah,
because it's an
people
impressive game.
I think so too, and
I
the
felt like
arguments I
that one
hear
sort of got universal acclaim.
it did, but, like, I get some of the arguments, like, the dungeons aren't perfect, and the
Mhm.
combat isn't also great, the scaling isn't super good. If you get about a third of the way through the game and you know what you're doing, it's way too easy. Like,
Yeah.
there's problems, you know,
Yeah.
but it's still really good, you know?
Yeah.
And like I've never like, and this is a difference between me and like someone like you, Mike. I feel like I'd really like Dark Souls like games. I've never been able to play a Dark Souls game. I can't I don't know, something within me is not good enough at them. But I feel like what would make Breath of the Wild perfect is if every encounter was more similar to Dark Souls, where it was really
Yeah.
significant and you had to know what you were doing.
Yeah.
And then it would be perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that's an excellent uh, tie into that. I mean, because yeah, I agree, 100%. I think Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild is excellent, but you can just mow through enemies like a lawnmower, just
Yeah.
churn them out like nothing
Like
for the most part.
at first it's hard and
Yeah.
it's fun, and then you get good and then it's easy
Yeah.
and it's not as fun, you
Yeah.
know? And
Definitely.
so if you could just curb that, it'd be so it would just be like the best thing I've ever played in my life. Like honestly. Because it's so because really it's so good, you know?
Well, like when you have to get the rubber suit, like you
What?
go into the section of the world where
Hold
you
on. Hold the phone. I want to play this game eventually. So no spoilers.
okay,
We
I'm
we
sorry.
don't ha
No,
okay, we don't have to spoil it. I'm just
no
saying, look, and
spoilers.
you should
No, I
because
do want to play it.
by the way, I don't wanna disparage because this game is so it's so good. And I think the best way to experiencing it to experience it is not knowing that much going in.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
yeah.
Well, I
But
know that
you know
you're
what
a
I'm talking about though. The epicness of everything
Yeah.
surrounding every section of that game.
Well, and
Um,
the feeling of discovery and, like,
yes.
really, like, it's that, like, schoolyard, like, I heard this thing about that. Like, there's no pointers in any direction. You just, like, interpret information and go play the game.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
definitely. Yeah. And there's so much to discover and different ways to play the game too. You don't I mean, there are many ways you can play it. It's very, very open-ended in a lot of ways.
So that's my number 1 game I've played in the last, like, 5 years. If anyone else wants to, like, weigh in on that.
Nice. That's an excellent choice for a number 1. I mean, the
I
soundtrack
will.
is absolutely
And
gorgeous.
there's competition. There's competition. Like, but it's so good.
Really? It sounded like that one was sort of miles ahead of anything else for you.
Nah. Man, some good games came out in 2017.
I believe you. I was pretty busy in 2017,
Yeah.
but
Same.
I was probably playing something. Well, do you wanna you got something in mind, Mike?
Well, I mean, I always rant about Chrono Trigger,
Mm.
Please
and
rant about Chrono Trigger.
I think this kinda ties into the whole point that we were talking about earlier. Not to get too, introspective about everything, but just that I really have only met, like, a few people that I even people that I'm friends with that have actually played the game, and as a kid, it ties in with, like, "Oh, the artwork was amazing," and which it really was, and even to this day, it's like it's incredible, like, how real the world feels of that game and how much I actually relate to several of the characters in that game to this day, and how that affected me growing up and how it affects me now and blah, blah. I could go on and on, but the story was excellent, the characters were absolutely amazing, the artwork brought it all to life, and I think part of the, like, feeling I almost kind of had, like, an elitist mentality at one point because I just couldn't find anybody else that had played it,
Hmm.
even
Yeah.
people that I was friends with, so in a way, it kind of gave me this, like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm the only person that knows anything about this, and it's amazing, but I can't really tell anybody about it." Um, it's just such a fantastic game. so fantastic. And if they decided to make a remake like they did with FF7 or something someday, that I wouldn't care how much people talked trash about it or said like, no, you're going to ruin it. Like, I'd pay money for that. I would.
Wouldn't that be crazy? And that's like, that's feasible. Like,
Yeah. 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 I mean, as long as the original creators
enough
are still
demand.
around.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Someday I will play it, Mike.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, going back now,
I've only
no.
played a little bit of Chrono Trigger. Yeah. I played a little bit and I liked it, but something stopped me from the rest. I kind of want to get the DS version. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, DS version's good. It's the same game. It's just got some added little things in there here and there. But and it's an RPG, and RPGs require a little more attention, even though it's kind of a loose RPG, where it's not. I don't know, like the encounters with enemies go a little quicker, I guess. Boss fights are kind of long, but it still requires a lot of time and attention to sit down and play it because it's an RPG. But
Yeah, I think that might be a barrier for me.
yeah, and that's understandable. You know, we all like different kinds of games for whatever reasons. I honestly, now I can't sit down and play RPGs anymore. Not turn-based RPGs anymore. I just don't have the patience for it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
me
I
neither.
like action games and games where I like faster paced, where I'm more engaged in general now. But Chrono Trigger has always and will always hold that special place in my heart as probably one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah.
uh,
Slow clap.
I got into no, Chrono Trigger is so good. I mean, I only played about a quarter of it. I'm gonna go back to eventually, but I only got into RPGs like about 6 or 7 years ago, when I first moved back to my hometown, and I just had never really gotten into any RPGs other than Paper Mario and like maybe, I don't know, one or two others, but like I was like, everyone loves Final Fantasy VII, so I got it and played through it, and I was like, I get RPGs now. Kind of, it was weird, like, and went through a bunch. And
That's a
yeah,
great one to. That's a great.
I love RPGs now. So, but there are some contemporary ones that I have played and are very good. Persona 5 is really good. Sorry, guys. Like, I know
Oh,
Wait, Cody, you
yeah.
like Persona?
yeah,
Have you played a couple hours of Persona here and
I've
there?
played Persona for a couple hours.
I don't know. A little bird on my shoulders told me that maybe you've played a couple 100,000 years worth of Persona.
Um, it's really good.
You know what? I played Persona 4. Was that the PS2 one?
Well, there was 2 on PS2. There was 3 and 4.
Okay,
They're
I
both
played
good.
4, I think, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was really fun.
Well, you
Um,
introduced me to it. Did you know that?
yeah, through the
Oh,
uh
maybe we should.
oh yeah, we didn't. I've never pirated anything. Uh, yeah, through the free memory card boot, right?
Yeah, and that was the first experience with Persona 3, which is my first Persona game. And I was like, this is really good. And I spent like 100 hours on it, and then played 4, and it was good too. And then 5 came out, and it's one of my favorite games ever because it's good. Sorry.
Nice.
It's really long. It's really good.
Yeah.
They just announced Shin Megami Tensei 5 was coming
Yeah,
to the Switch.
super edgy.
Yeah,
I
looks
don't know.
pretty edgy. Anyway, but I was really
Probably
curious
good.
about Persona 5, but I didn't know if it's a series that you can start anywhere
Oh
in the
yeah.
middle and
No,
still
they're all
appreciate.
different. It's like Final Fantasy. It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Like
I'm
there's
kind of
there like there's similar like enemy types, kind of like Dragon Quest always has slimes, blah blah blah. But like
Yeah.
the story and like the circumstances are entirely different. Persona 5
Cool.
is fantastic, and the only problem with starting with 5 before 4 or 3 is that there are quality of life things that will make going back harder.
That
Yeah.
makes sense. Kind of like Mass Effect. I started
Yeah.
with 2 and
No, precisely. Yeah.
yeah.
Because they're all good. Like the story, if you're into story and game, like that's what it's all about. Like,
Okay.
and but it's also fun. It's a fun game. It's just long. So
I think that's what I'm looking for in like a late night game where I can just be sitting there vegging out and
yeah,
just enjoying a good
no,
RPG or something like that.
absolutely recommend. Persona 5 is really fantastic if you are in for the long run, you have a little patience. Like, yeah.
Nice. All right. I'm holding out that they're going to release it on Switch.
I
I
hope
mean,
so. I don't know.
I'm hoping for, but
It seems to get hard. Yeah. Square's
that's
weird.
just because that's just because I want to sit on the couch and play it in my lap.
I know. And
I,
Joker's one of my mains in Smash, so
oh man,
Still haven't played Joker in Smash.
it's pretty fun. Good character.
yeah. I don't have a definitive main. I love Smash Ultimate, but I haven't hooked on to any character. Even like it in Smash 4, I was like so like attached to Toon Link, but I haven't found something like that in Ultimate.
Ultimate's pretty balanced. They did a really good job.
Yeah, I mean, I like playing characters, but I don't have one that I'm like, this is my guy. You know?
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of good games, I mean, Smash Brothers has just always been consistent. Well, Brawl made me mad for a while, but I get it now.
I love
But
Brawl.
Smash Ultimate is incredible.
I love it. I can't. Do you have a pick? We're kind of going off whatever kind of schedule, but do you have
Oh
a
no, this
pick
is
for?
perfect. This is perfection.
Yeah. Do you have a pick for who you want? Because there's 5 more characters.
Oh, that's right. Oh man, I haven't even thought about that. Oh
I
God,
it's what I think about all the time.
I would. I mean, well, going back to Chrono
But no,
Trigger,
seriously, it
I
got
know.
I know, Cody. I know, but it's still hilarious.
I it's what me got through a nervous breakdown in 2018 was the Smash speculation. So
That's beautiful. That ties right in with everything we were talking about earlier.
That's a Paul Simon song right there, Cody.
it is. Just smash the lyrics into like 2 bars. It's fine.
Well, but Will,
Yeah, I
what's
have to. Oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
I have to admit, video games have gotten me through some hard times,
Hmm.
and I guess that's sort of what I was alluding to earlier in this conversation, with them being the happy place.
Yeah,
We all agree it's an art, and like art can get you through shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Finding something to truly identify with on some level,
Or just
whether
think
it's a
about or escape to or
mhm,
participate in, you know?
yeah.
yeah. It's sort of transcendental in a way.
It is strange to think that human beings, the way that we function in general, like seeing something and then replicating that thing. That's monkey see, monkey do. We're kind of just built that way. The video games, it's I don't know. I guess video games play into that well because we're just doing what we're supposed to do. But it is very unique that technology has been introduced to us. It's I don't know. Just the fact that we've evolved and been able to become so individual and not just copying everything that everybody else is doing. I don't know. It's
Yes.
Well, what if it evolves us? Like, what if someone painted a picture and someone else came up to it and said, "Oh, I see what you're seeing, and I'm going to build upon it." And then I
Yeah.
painted this picture, and oh, I see what you're seeing, and now, and what if there was a video game where you are participating in the experience and and it's the same kind of thing, you know? It's a way to connect with other people, to connect with the world.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like the 3D program Blender. It's open source, and it's basically just that it keeps growing and evolving, and the community surrounding it is so passionate about it and so committed to making it better, and it's totally free, that it just constantly evolves and changes and becomes more powerful than all the other programs surrounding it. Because the community is,
You should plug your channel too, Mike.
oh yeah, you can check out my art on Instagram at Gatz 3D Art.
There
Nice.
we go. I've been staring at your render of Frog this entire time, just watching me.
There's a character I would want to see in Smash. I would, oh god, oh man,
Oh, would you rather Frog than Chrono?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my favorite character in that game.
All right, how about a number one choice for Smash?
Travis Kefton. Sorry. I'm loaded. I want it.
Travis touchdown,
Yep.
awesome, very nice. What about you, Will?
Oh man, I gotta say Marina from Mischief Makers.
Oh man,
Oh god, that would be so good.
like
My
when
love
she,
for that would just
I
be
would
through the fucking roof.
I would pay the entire season pass for that. Like
yeah,
that,
when she
that would be
grabs you,
so
like
good.
when you push ZR or like R and A and grab somebody and throw them in any direction, she goes shake, shake, and throws them.
Oh my god. You know what? I just decided what one of the games I want to discuss is.
Mischief Makers.
Foreshadowing, it's Mischief Makers.
It's really good.
Yes.
It was a very
Yes,
good
it
game.
is.
You know what's a really good game?
What's that?
Wait, whoa. Mike, what's your Smash pick?
Oh, totally Frog from Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I think
The
he
other
was
one.
on the roster at some point. I could be
Did
wrong.
you say
Really?
the other one, Cody?
Look, I don't want to, but yes.
Oh, so somebody other than Frog.
Not that Frog's not cool.
He's super cool, but
Oh,
He's
you're just
super
wanting
cool.
a second choice?
Yeah.
aside from
Because I
the
have a second
obvious
choice too.
Okay. Let me think about that for just a sec. What have I been playing? What are my favorite games? I mean, I would
Right.
love to see Zero from Mega Man X,
Oh my god. that would
Zero would
be
be good. Yeah.
and he's viable because he's been in other games like Marvel vs. Capcom and other games like that. Like it's possible that they could put somebody like that in.
I would love to see any other Mega Man character.
Yeah.
Oh man,
If I had another Mega Man character though, I have to admit I would, if it was my personal choice, I would actually say Bass first.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
about to say base.
Dang, that's a good choice. And he could use
But-
treble.
Well, yeah, Bass, then I mean Zero's
He's been kind of done before. Zero's kind of a trope now.
yeah. But also Proto Man. But
Ah man,
I love
you
Proto
know,
Man.
I kind of want Proto Man more than Zero now. I think you got me there.
Proto Man's great. I think Bass would be cool though. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Or Dr.
my
Wally.
second, I think my second Smash.
Kraid.
Really?
Fucking Kraid. Just make a mini Kraid. He can shoot spikes out of his belly, throws claws.
Yeah, they could just call him Mini Kraid.
Yeah. Like the one you fight outside of Kraid's actual room.
Yeah, the little one, the little baby one.
Yes. I mean, They melted my cold, cold heart by putting Ridley in the game.
Yeah.
I'm extremely pleased with that. I never thought that would happen.
Ridley's actually really fun to play too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I have
Yeah.
played Ultimate a little bit, and I did play Ridley, and I thought Ridley played really well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Kraid,
fun.
next. Nintendo, listen up. But I mean,
Okay.
also, I think previously my first and second choices would have been Ridley and Banjo-Kazooie. So I mean, they were reading my
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
mind.
Banjo's fun. Banjo's good.
Yeah, oh, I played Banjo. It was great.
Yeah. He's a very fun character.
You know what I would also like really a lot? Skull Kid.
Oh man,
Ah, man.
And the down B switches the mask and you do Zora, Goron, and Deku Scrub.
shit, dog.
That is a fantastic idea.
Like a Majora character. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what Zoe wanted?
Hmm.
An Eevee, but you could change into any of the
Yeah.
evolutions.
Yeah, that would also be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, man. Eevee would be beast.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jigglypuff is a character, why not Eevee?
It's good though. Smash, I think it's a home ground for me because it feels like they just care about the like video game community on whole.
Yes. Especially with this most recent one.
Yeah.
And 4, I would say.
Yeah, no, they were heading in the right direction. Like the fact that they put Mega Man in and like even
And
like
Sonic.
and well, Sonic was Brawl, but like it,
Oh,
at the time, like my head was like my pie in the sky, like, well, this will never happen was Bayonetta, and then it happened.
Yeah.
Like like Smash is so weird, it like transcends everything. It's
it
you know,
does.
And it goes back to kind of like high school times when you were like, oh man, I would love to see this character in Smash Bros. Because it would have better graphics and then I could reimagine this character in different ways. Like
yeah.
seeing Link in Smash Bros, I was like, man, I wish they would make a Zelda game with graphics as good as Smash Brothers because it would just be a
Yeah.
magical experience to be able to see Link in a world of that level of quality. And then they released Twilight
And you
Princess and
expected it.
yeah, absolutely.
Like you know, like oh, they put Nessa or they put like Captain Falcon. Oh, there's an F-Zero game. Like it's a
Yeah,
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 it's like a beacon of what
yeah,
is relevant.
definitely. Yeah, where you're like, oh shit, I'm about to see like, oh shit, Bayonetta's in Smash now. Like, what's the deal? I, no, I is there another Bayonetta game coming? Which coincidentally there is.
Oh,
Apparently
really?
there are 2 more coming.
Bayonet is real good. So
Yeah, I guess they announced number 4 already. So 3
4?
is yeah. The 3's not out, but they already confirmed that they're going to do 2 more titles.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that, but
yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, Devil May Cry went on, and the game's improved after number 2. And
actually 5 was pretty good.
yeah, that was a really good game. I enjoyed that one. I like the element of the like necromancery summoner kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Different sort of take on the gameplay.
I love Bayonetta 1.
Yeah.
But I
It's
never
a good
got a
game.
chance to play 2.
I think 1 is well, 2 I hear is the more like technically superior game,
Yeah,
but 1 is kind of the one that's in my heart. I don't know.
yeah. I bought the collection for when it came out for the Wii U. Yeah, for the Wii U when it first came out on and I played number 1 and then I played number 2 and I didn't like 2 after playing the first one. And it took me a while before I went back and played number 2 and was like, oh, "Okay, this is a good game. I like this." Maybe I was just burned out or I don't know what happened, but I definitely enjoyed the first one more than the second one.
Yeah, I think 2 is a very refined gameplay experience. But 1 is like, hey, we have something to say. Kind of like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
there's a it's an experience. It's like a roller coaster. Whereas 2 is like, we're gonna take what we built here and make a gameplay experience, kind of,
Yeah. Definitely. The mechanics are a lot more sharpened and well versed in number 2, I agree.
yeah.
Took
But
it to the
but
next
I
level.
have more affection for 1 just because of what it was.
Yeah.
Almost like Banjo-Kazooie, I think, is a better game than Banjo-Tooie, even though Banjo-Tooie was, like, kind of better, like, But does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking specifics, I would say that all the backtracking in Banjo-Tooie sort of made it less cohesive.
Yeah.
That's why I think Banjo-Kazooie is better.
It's just, like, refined, right? It's just polished.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Like they set out to be better than Mario 64 and killed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Kinda like D Diddy Kong Racing is just kinda better than Mario Kart 64.
Yeah.
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 Man, Kong Racing. Fantastic game.
Anniversary not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What did that game come out in 1997?
I think so?
I don't know, but man,
I don't know.
Was it a launch title for the N64?
No, it wasn't launched.
no,
It was not launched.
because it came out after Mario Kart 64, and that wasn't even
It
a
was
launch
the
title.
Yeah.
But that was the first N64 game that I bought after it was new. It was after the GameCube had already been released. I
Oh,
saw
Diddy
that.
Kong Racing was?
Huh?
Diddy Kong Racing was?
Yes. It was the first N64 game I bought used. And it
Wow.
was like $12 at Hollywood Video or something. But I had always rented it. I rented it a bunch after it came out. But that game is really hard.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really played a racing game as hard as Diddy Kong Racing.
No, have you played any F-Zero game? Because, like,
Yeah, F-Zero.
I agree. F-Zero GX for GameCube destroyed me.
Yeah, that
I
game was
love
great.
yeah.
Man, F-Zero GX was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's fun when it's multiplayer and you're just playing it, but, like, you cannot play it single player. It's so hard.
Yeah. Did you guys ever get to experience GX in the arcade? In the like sit down booth style?
No, I haven't, but I've wanted to.
Oh man, it's excellent. It is like an experience. It is amazing.
I've done the Mario Kart arcade stuff, and it's great. It's so good. Yeah,
I don't
so
think I've done that. I didn't even know that was a thing.
yeah, Namco actually did it.
Really?
Yeah, Melanie and I have done it, and I played Pac-Man, and she played Princess Peach on, like, Mario Kart levels, and it's really fun. Yeah. So I can only imagine the F-Zero stuff is cool too.
That's crazy. I had no idea. Yeah, the one in the arcade in classic fashion, it had a slot for your memory card, so you could like bring your custom stuff in and just like play
Oh
it
yeah.
in the arcade. Pretty cool stuff.
I legitimately printed out Pokemon Snap pictures on a Blockbuster kiosk.
I brought that up to them the other day. I was like, "Hey, do you guys remember those Pokemon Snap kiosks
Oh, yeah.
from Blockbuster?"
You know they're making another Pokemon Snap.
Yes, for
Saw that.
Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Will sent me that. I was
finally.
like, "Oh
Like,
my god!"
yeah, it's like the only thing I'm looking forward to on Switch now, actually, because there's nothing.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty of good shit coming out on Switch.
Yeah, they just aren't saying anything, but
yeah. Actually, Switch Lites have gone up in price, and the regular Switch, like on eBay, they're selling for like almost $300 for a Switch Lite, and more for the regular Switch right now.
really,
Yeah, I really wanted to get a Switch, but I just can't.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna spend $500.
no, don't. Yeah, I know
yeah,
it's gonna be
Fucking
so much
stupid.
cheaper, like very soon. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Things have at least started to return to normalcy. It shouldn't be too long before you can get something.
yeah. But also, I think once PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X launch, I think the Switch price is gonna go down.
Yeah, that makes sense. When
Not,
is
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like, and that's me. I'm like a Nintendo fanboy. I'm not like plugging. It will.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a pattern there. It happens whenever a new system is out within, like, a very short amount of time too. Like,
Yeah.
and of course, you know, pandemic aside, there's definitely a pattern with the way Nintendo releases their their systems, how they short and then they wait till the holidays and then they short again,
Yeah.
and people end up buying it all up and price gouging it.
Yeah, why the fuck do they do that?
I don't know.
It's
It's
probably
dumb.
money, unfortunately. It's probably gross, but
Maybe to make their yearly end look better or something.
Well, it sucks for us nerds who wanna play Pokemon Sword.
no, it does. Because like as much as yeah, there's corporate bullshit, like I love my Switch and I play a lot of stuff on it. Like it's good shit. Like, you know. So
Switch is a good system. It
yeah.
is. I feel like when I got my original, because now I have a Switch Lite as well, but the Switch, I hadn't had as much fun playing a video game system since the Wii, and the Switch really brought that back. I was like, oh man, I got motion control again, and like some games I can just like sit on my couch and just like hold the controllers however I want, and it really brought the fun back.
And the library is such that it's like, oh, I feel like playing this and it's like probably there. Like there's so much on
Yeah,
the Switch library. Like,
yeah, yeah. Which
like
is a
especially
refreshing
yeah,
ever since the Wii U having so few titles.
yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I wanna play this, like, intricate, innovative thing. Oh, it's there. Oh, I want, like, visual aesthetic. Oh, it's there. Like, I want an
yeah,
RPG, it's there. It's a shooter, it's there. It's a platformer, it's there."
yeah,
You have something that you wanna play. So
yeah, definitely.
and, that's the weird thing about growing up when we did, trying to is that it used to suck, and now it's all accessible. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it
so
did used to suck.
so you darn kids get off our lawn, you don't appreciate how hard it used to be.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Our parents told us they had to go both ways in the snow. Well, we had to go to public school every day without cell phones and
Yeah.
without video games at our fingertips.
Basically, everyone convinced themselves that Super Mario Sunshine was a good platformer.
Cody,
Hey,
banned for life.
hey, you be nice to Super Mario Sunshine.
No, I actually love that game.
Okay, all
That is
right.
a fantastic game.
Yeah. but we had nothing.
Why would you say
We had
so?
nothing else, you know. Like
Yeah, that was like the only game that came out for the GameCube in like a year.
Yeah.
So like you go to PlayStation 2 and you play Jack and Daxter.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack and Daxter or like Devil May Cry or
No, come on. Devil May Cry was better and different. Different
yeah.
and better. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But
true. Oh, I thought you meant
Alright.
just like because. Oh, I see. Like I misunderstood.
Favorite PS2 game.
What was what?
Favorite PS2 game.
Oh boy.
PS2 game?
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah, that is
Mhm.
exactly what I was thinking.
I was thinking Devil May Cry 3, honestly.
Oh shit. Probably
Um,
that.
but Metal Gear Solid 3 is just an amazing game.
Actually, one of those two, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those were both excellent titles.
Right now I'm feeling that I'm between Snake Eater and Guitar Hero.
Oh, actually, Guitar Hero 2 specifically. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
I loved Guitar Hero.
Yeah, those were great games.
Guitar Hero
Oh my
2.
God.
Yeah.
And those games had a great way of bringing people together because I worked at the teen center at the high school after I graduated. And like kids that are these 4 or 5 years younger than me, and sometimes middle school kids would come in. So like kids that are like 6 years younger than me, I could relate with them on some level because we played Guitar Hero. And so like they'd be like, "Oh yeah, Mike likes to play Guitar Hero, so like let's hang out with Mike," you know, and they would just come sit at the counter all day and we would just talk about Guitar Hero.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, games bringing people together.
Was that the opposite of your experience you had with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater? Because I know how you feel about that game.
I know nothing about Tony Hawk other than
choose to
well,
be your friend.
I can't say it's a bad game because I've only ever met people that say it's such a good game. But I was not a skateboarder. I had no connection to other than what my brothers skateboarded. And yeah, I just have no idea. I've never played it because I just had no interest.
Fair enough.
It's really good.
It is. It's really fun.
And I think I threw a snap judgment on it when I first saw it too, because I was like, "Oh, this is like whatever that snowboarding game was that was on N64 that I can't remember the name
Yeah.
of."
1080.
Oh,
Yeah, or like one of those. I thought that it was just like a
kids.
generic.
Snowboard fucking kids, bro. Sorry,
Never gave
Mike.
it a fair. No. I just never gave it a fair chance.
I
I've been
totally
trying
get you.
Huh?
The aesthetic of Tony Hawk I never appealed to me, but it's really good.
Okay.
At the
I will
time,
take both
actually,
of your word.
it felt more like a platformer than a sports game.
Huh.
Yes.
Do you mean in the sense that Sonic Adventure 2 Battle feels sort of like a platformer at times?
Yes. No, absolutely, yes.
Is that?
Mike with the burn of the century.
I like that Will just immediately started laughing when I brought up Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
No, I totally agree with you.
Because there are
No,
sections of the
it's
game where
exactly
you can like free roam a little bit. There's some control there.
It's just a downhill, like it's just like you go forward and you kind of jump and do tricks. Like
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Well, if described in that light, that actually makes me want to play it.
And there's Power Man 5000.
It's on the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack's good too,
Okay.
Yeah.
actually.
Was the soundtrack comprised of just like early 2000s music?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That's
like
really funny.
curated, like kind of good. You know,
Okay. Like I can get behind that, and it's
kind of
pretty
bad,
cool.
kind of bad too. But you know,
Well,
All
maybe
right.
one of these days, maybe I'll find myself playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Well, they're remastering it.
Really?
Yep.
Well, then that's not so far off. I'll wait
yeah,
for a sale on Steam and pop on my virtual skateboard and oh god, I don't know what I'm talking about. I digress.
Oh man, love that game. All right. Well, the first game I thought of that I wanted to mention was Wario Land 2.
For Game Boy?
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
It's so fun. Wait, sorry, Wario Land 1. It's confusing because Wario Land 1 is Super Mario Land 3.
Uh, wait, so
and that
Wario
was
Land
for
3
Game
was
Boy.
for Game Boy Advance, right?
Wario Land 4 was for Game Boy Advance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a
Wario
little
Land 4
behind.
was great.
Yeah.
That was, I should just be talking about that.
Yeah.
That game was
That is a good game.
fantastic.
Wario Land
Man.
1 was really great too. There were a lot of new mechanics, especially for a Game Boy game.
Yeah, I feel like that whole series was sort of like an experimental grab bag of like all the weird mechanics they could fit into a platformer.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there was and the not just your helmet being like you could jump and hit things with it or but like things blowing up and it was like Mario to a whole different degree, a whole new
Yes.
level.
Yes. And I was bringing it up specifically because sometime last summer, I spent my breaks playing it on that Game Boy Advance SP that you gave me, Mike.
Ah, yeah.
And it was so fun to be experiencing a game like the way it was meant to be
Yeah.
in short bursts on my break.
Yeah.
And I beat the entire game.
Dang. Dang.
And it was so fun. It was a very enjoyable experience playing through that one. And that's why I bought the entire trilogy in Japanese. And I gave the Japanese one to you, right, Mike?
Yes. Yes, you did.
Yeah. I love that game so much, so I saw an eBay auction for all three of them in Japanese. So I have the English Wario Land 1 and the Japanese 2 and 3, which I have yet to play, actually.
Ah.
Yes.
Well, kudos to you for beating the first one because that's a really hard game. It's not easy to sit down and beat that game.
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's a more forgiving platformer as far as the vast variety of platformers are concerned. Because a lot of the things that seem like they would hurt you just give you different powers. Is Cody dead again?
No, I'm here. I'm
Oh,
listening
okay.
to Wario chat.
He lives.
Okay.
I I got Wario Land 2 as a so when I was maybe 9 for Easter, my parents got me a Game Boy Pocket and they rented Wario Land 2. And that's my experience with it. And I didn't have any games for my Game Boy for forever because they rented the game and got me the system.
Hmm.
Nice.
But eventually, but I would always rent the same one because I wanted to finish it before I moved on to another one. And so, long experience with Wario Land. Wario Land's great.
Yes.
First game when I got a Game Boy Advance was Wario Land 4, and it's great. And Wario Land 4 is great.
Oh man. I remember That was one of the first Game Boy Advance games I played because I borrowed Colin's, I think.
Yeah,
He had a white original Game Boy Advance, and I played Wario Land
I
4.
had a white one.
Maybe it was yours then.
I don't remember. Because Colin had one too, so we might have both. So I don't know.
I don't know.
But I had
But
a white Game Boy Advance and a Wario Land 4.
yeah, I actually I bought 3 different Game Boys this month.
Mm.
Yeah, I bought a Game Boy Advance SP, and I bought 2 Atomic Purple Game Boy Colors.
Nice. That is
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been left with some disposable income, so it's just going to turn into video games.
Poor guy. You're just
Yeah,
gonna have
poor
to
me.
suffer through it.
Yep. Exactly.
I remember when I first bought the Game Boy Advance SP when it first came out, and I had my brother drive me to Best Buy, and I walked in, and it was $100 on the shelf. And I
100.
walked out with no games or anything. I only had like my Game Boy Color games or like whatever was at my house, but I just wanted one so bad that I just bought the system with no games. And it took me a while before I got like, Link to the Past or like any of the other ones that were coming out at the time.
But you could turn it on and hear the bling.
Yeah, yeah. I was in the parking lot and I opened it up before getting in the car because I was so enamored, like, and turning it on and hearing that sound.
Do you
What is
remember
the
the smell?
I don't remember the smell. That's
I do.
interesting.
Yeah.
Of like I remember the feel of like that nice clip when it closes. It's almost
Yeah.
like I felt like it was like a nice pocket watch or like a nice mirror or something like that you clip closed when it closes.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the smell.
It was just very sanitized. It's just like
I remember the
You
smell
know,
of my Wii U, and I remember the smell of my Switch, pulling them out
yeah.
of the box. That, like, new plastic and, like, new, like, powder coat finish
Yeah.
smell.
Very similar. Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. I should have smelled my Game Boy Advance SP when I bought it. Ow, what was I
You should have
thinking?
smelled your Game Boy Advance.
I should have smelled it. I guess young me just wasn't thinking. I was in the zone. I was like,
I
"Oh,
was
man,
fun.
I gotta get home and play
I
Cat Trap on this thing."
I just swirled mine around any erogenous zone. It was
Oh,
great.
big
that's
brain.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
So what's up, guys?
What's up?
So, I found out that sort of off topic, but I found out that the White Ranger from Power Rangers, the original actor, um, is doing a fan movie called Legend of the White Dragon. And it is a they did a Kickstarter for it, and this is recent, like, this is happening now, and, it's happening. They met their goal with 40 days left on
Oh,
Kickstarter. And it's happening. They're making a fan film about the White Ranger and his origins and like what all of that, what all happens, and it's going to be glorious. I only wish that I'd found out about this Kickstarter sooner because I would have paid money into that just to be a part of it. Because oh man, so not necessarily video game related, other than that Power Rangers was a video game at one point, but Power Rangers.
Power Rangers
good.
is extremely relevant at all times.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Just summon the swords.
But sorry, I didn't catch that, Cody. What was that?
Diamond.
Cody, how high are you?
uh,
Um. Wow, that's good.
You sound unconvinced.
Actually,
You know what I wanted to bring up? MDK.
whoa, really? Oh, yeah, no, let's talk about it.
Have you guys played that game?
Hey, I have MDK2, the disc, the PC disc that I got from you. I know I got it from you. I don't
Give
know
it
if I
back.
can. Yeah,
Sounds
no,
like
I'll
a
give it
very
back.
relevant
I'll
topic.
give it back to you. I will.
I don't want it.
I don't know why I have it, but I do, and I
I
remember.
probably forced you to take it.
Yeah, you might have.
I didn't like it. I didn't like MDK2 very much.
Really?
I wasn't a huge fan.
Hmm.
Chris is a huge fan. But MDK1 is just the quirkiest game. It's so funny, and it really sends up like all the
Do you think it?
things that
Do you
what?
think it was what Earthworm Jim was trying to do without the like over like cartoony like what like
Kind of. I feel like Earthworm Jim was more about the bizarreness.
yeah
In MDK, there's definitely a lot of sort of weird stuff. But it's a lot more subtle, I would say.
yeah
More subtle than an earthworm in a spacesuit.
right, but like
Which
it's in that direction, right? Like
That's so funny
yeah,
because I
definitely.
never
I
would
mean,
have thought that.
they're made by the same developer.
or are they? I didn't know that.
Shiny, yes. Um,
See, I didn't know that either. I've never played
yes.
MDK.
Yes, I mean, I don't feel like it gets enough praise, and that's why I'm bringing it up. Because it's got a really cool soundtrack. It's got super quirky gameplay that's not really like anything else at the time. It's a third-person shooter, very early one. And it's just got like my favorite sort of visual style, which is like extremely pixelated 3D,
Yeah,
very early 3D.
yeah.
Anyways,
Croc.
all right. You want to say something about Croc?
Croc.
Is that all you have to say about Croc?
Yeah, that's all I have to say about Croc.
All right, well, Gex, Enter the Gecko.
I just played some Gex 3 recently,
Oh my god.
and it was better than I thought. It, it was pretty good. I had a good time. Gex is kind of good.
Oh man, nothing gets me going like Gex.
You know, I played Gex 3 because of a certain someone in this chat that gave it to me.
I got it for your birthday, didn't I?
You did, and I really, really wanted to play it, and I played it, and boy, oh boy, was I surprised
Yeah, it's pretty good.
at
You get
how
that
much I
first
actually
level, which is
enjoyed playing it.
the first level is Christmas.
Yeah, it's
Yes, it is.
very,
If you
very.
get past the first level, it's pretty good. I don't know.
I did
I've
not get
never
past
gotten
the
past
first
the
level.
first level.
Yeah, and you shouldn't. It's not that much better. It's just a little better. I don't know. It's,
I ran around a lot. I gave it an honest effort. I sat down for a couple hours and was just like running around, listening to the stupid catchphrases and taking screenshots and
yeah.
sending it to Will, being like, "Hey, this game's actually kind of fun." And but eventually I got sidetracked and did something else, and I just
Yeah,
never went back.
you're generous.
It was
It's
still
like it's
fun.
like one of those shows when you were a kid where it's like, oh, would they get my humor? They just don't really know how to do it right, but they know what I want. It's not good. Like, I don't.
and it's in classic Gex fashion. It's got the cheesy catch lines and that he just repeats the same ones like every 15 seconds, and you've got your like one ability that sets you apart from the enemies, and you gotta like swing your tail or like jump on a building and shoot snowballs at like a weird carrot monster yeti thing or whatever that's
The first level is also Christmas in Gex Pocket Tales.
oh wow.
Shit, not Pocket Tales. That's Conquer. Deep Pocket Gecko.
Yes, Deep Pocket Gecko. Yeah.
For the Game Boy Color.
I recently played through Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Oh my fucking lord.
That was before I got the EverDrive. It's on real red cartridge.
You have the cartridge.
I have the cartridge.
Oh, I have the cartridge.
I beat the game.
Holy shit, I've never beaten that game.
I think it's better than Gex.
Yeah, I think it is.
What are we doing, buddy?
I remember specifically one of the earliest N64 emulators. I was playing Rocket Robot on Wheels and listening to Power Man 5000.
Oh man.
True story.
Any day that you're listening to Power Man 5000 doing anything is a good day. That means you are in a mood. And it is a glorious mood.
You're just playing Rocket Robot on Wheels. Picking up those clowns.
Yeah, I don't. You build vehicles and you collect tickets and shit.
Yeah. And you can color things in the Greek stage.
Yes. I thought that was pretty impressive at the time.
It's actually a pretty fun game. Like, honestly, I just played through it like a couple months ago. It's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good. It's
It is.
yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think those developers went on to do Sly Cooper.
Oh.
Which Sly Cooper is another one that I never got to play.
Yeah, I've never played Sly Cooper, but that actually makes sense. Like, it's a similar thing. Oh, hey, I was playing Space Station Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah, that is exactly what we should talk about.
No, Space Station Silicon Valley is so good. I'm just gonna tell you, it's hard, but it's good.
It is extremely hard.
It's very hard, but also
it's really unlike any other game.
it is. But also those people, like that's Grand Theft Auto people.
I know.
I didn't know that until recently.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't like the only Grand Theft Auto game I like is 4. So
Oh, not even Vice City?
nah. I mean it's okay. Actually, I mean they all have their merits, but I like 4. I don't like 5. I don't know.
I've only watched hours of Chris playing 5.
The only one I really remember is Grand Theft Auto 3 on PS2.
Yeah.
It's a guy that we knew at the time just loved to show us all the cheat codes where you just start the game and then like a tank falls out of the sky and you just drive around in a tank blowing up the whole city.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
It's,
basically Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
The things I like about Grand Theft Auto have been done better in other games, I think. Like the Red Dead games, the Red Dead Redemption games, I think are like way better versions of what that game style can be.
That is a series I have not played at all.
Oh, it's good. It's very good.
I did try Red Dead 2. I never played the first one, but for some reason, I don't know what it is, but games that are Western themed or like movies that are Western themed, anything Western themed, I have such a hard time getting into. And I tried really hard with Red Dead 2, but I could not continue playing it. I just couldn't. I would just get bored. I
That's
don't know
fair.
why.
No, that's fair. That's absolutely fair, I think.
I think just the theme
Yeah.
for whatever reason is just enough to make me go like, eh, I'm good, and just do something else, which is
That,
unfortunate because they're
yeah.
hailed as such amazing games.
No, I think that's fair. Like that's why it's harder for me to get into Dark Souls than it is like Bloodborne.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, Bloodborne is oh god, that's such a good game.
You know, I love Bloodborne. That's
Ah,
of any of the Souls games. That's the one that I'm like, oh, I want to get good. I just can't. Like, yeah.
before I got Dark Souls 2 on my PC, because I already have it for PS4, but I'm in a place where I don't have my PS4, so I just bought it again on PC because I love Dark Souls. I'm so sad that Bloodborne is PS4 exclusive because I was going to buy Bloodborne first. It's just so good. Man, I'm sad that it is not on PC right now.
Damn.
Cody, I'm glad that you love that game.
Yeah. No, but I haven't gotten. I've. What is it? The first one, Gascon, like Father. It's like
Yeah.
the first.
And
I've
Gascon.
never. You know, I can't get past it.
Mm-hmm. And see, Bloodborne is a really good introduction into the Souls series because it's not as punishing gameplay wise because you have a little more mechanics and movement and you have a gun that's like a little more friendly in terms of gameplay. Like it's more fun to play, I think, in certain aspects because it's I don't know the flow of the weapons is just different. Anyway, if you succeed at getting further in Bloodborne, you'll probably really like Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Like if you sit down and just like decide like oh yeah maybe I'll play Bloodborne and you just get into it. The Dark Souls games are just like that and they're really fun.
Yeah, I get that sense. Like I know that like if I can get good at Bloodborne, I might be able to enter this world of everything else that has been inspired by Dark
Yeah,
Souls. And
yeah.
like I've played a little Dark Souls and I like it and I know it's good. I can see that it's good. I'm not good at it, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it is a barrier to entry,
yeah.
definitely. I'm
And
still
I
not very good at
yeah,
it.
but I
I die
want
all
to
the
enter that. You know, I want to get into that world. I'm trying.
time. Yeah, yeah. Well, and like I was recommending to Will earlier, the Dark Souls games are they are co-op. You can link up with people and play like you can in Bloodborne. So
Yeah.
I'd recommend it, if you know somebody else that plays or whatever, or if we, all three of us, God forbid, wanted to play Dark Souls sometime, we could just link up
Oh,
and play.
Jesus.
Have a 3-player experience.
Oh, Lordy.
I mean, we'll see. You know, Dolphin does some incredible things. We could do, you know, multiplayer Pikmin too.
Oh man. Oh man.
Killed me with that one, dude.
Or like Donkey Kong 64 multiplayer, the deathmatch mode. Like,
Is that similar to Banjo-Kazooie deathmatch mode?
oh, it's it's like in between that and Jet Force Gemini.
Yeah.
So
Wow. I did not know that.
Yes, actually, Zoe and I just loaded up Donkey Kong 64 the other day.
you know, there's a
Actually,
hack of it where you can change characters at any moment instead of going back to the barrel that makes it like playable.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that is insanity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys,
What's up, dog?
talking points. What are we accomplishing here? Let's wrap it
Right.
up.
We've been noodling for a while here.
Well, I think we gave introductions to ourselves as far as our upbringing alongside games. And I think that was good. I would like to explore further the sort of dark side of being involved in video games, specifically as it pertains to mental health.
Hmm.
And maybe in an upcoming episode, we could talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you mean specifically linked with things like depression and linked with like
Yes,
okay,
yes, exactly.
that is a very interesting topic.
Yeah, and it's something I just don't fully understand.
Hmm.
Um, but
Well,
I would,
the the first thing that comes to my mind is like escapism, right? Like what I've felt because I've been diagnosed with depression. So like I have depression, and sometimes what alleviates it with is thinking about like uh escaping into the video game world and putting myself into the place of who I'm controlling and inhabiting that world, and it's helpful. It gives me a little bit of relief, and when I come back to who I am, it helps me digest ideas in a way that makes me not put every all of the stress upon myself. So to me, it's only been helpful.
Yeah. Yeah,
hmm,
definitely.
it has been for me as well, but I've struggled with it because unfortunately there's this sense of shame from the mainstream culture. And it has been hard for me to shake that. And it doesn't really come from any specific source. It's just sort of a general vibe. And I think it was probably bred into me by the way I was brought up.
Mhm.
Um, Sort of owning and playing a ton of games, but also kind of being shamed for doing nothing but playing games.
Mhm. I relate to that very strongly. I
Yeah.
can understand that. Well, and
So
it's
that's
oh,
it's still
go ahead.
something I've tried to shake to this day.
Yeah. It's really, hard to feel justified playing video games as an adult in at least, you know, in this like you said, it has a lot to do with the upbringing, I think, and, on days when I'm like, "Oh, man, I wanna play video games," I almost have to convince myself that it's okay before I even feel like I can,
Yes.
and that even requires prep time for me to then realize that I'm in a slump or I'm way burned out or I'm like video games has become like you said, Cody, like the escape, or the therapy in a way for when I'm feeling super burned out, where I'm like, "Okay, I recognize that I'm so stressed out, my head's about to fly off like a Roman candle, and, I feel like jumping off of a very large thing and depths to which the bottom of which I cannot see, you know? And when you get to that point, obviously, it's important to recognize that you're so stressed out you can't deal with it. But then
Yeah.
video games becomes the fallback for it. And even then, I still feel guilty, like, but it's important with self-care, obviously, to recognize, like, well, I have to take care of myself or I'm not going to be well in any
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
Well, I think you should enjoy the things you enjoy. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
like it's as natural to like something as weird as a Pokemon character, as a Tyranitar or a Grimer or like a Farfetch'd or whatever
Yeah.
Pokemon. Like like the relief of being like, "Oh, it's kind of fun to think about that," is like taking a shit. Like, it's no, but really, it's like
Yeah.
I'm just kinda living life, I'm enjoying it. Like, you're going along, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's you know?
That's a really beautiful comparison.
Yes, I'm sure that very much resonates with you, Michael.
Oh, man. Do it. Do it
But but
ever.
but really, it's just, like, take a second and just, experience, like, "Ah, there's a thing, and I like this thing." I don't know, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's very well put. It's a very good point.
It's
And in a
okay.
lot of yeah, it's okay, yeah, totally. I mean, we shouldn't feel guilty for the things that we like, and there shouldn't be any shame behind liking them, so we shouldn't feel guilt about experiencing them.
Amen.
Yeah, yeah.
So this discussion about the intricacies of growing up in a specific kind of era has become a discussion about how we shouldn't feel ashamed of growing up within this era. I feel like that's a parallel to a lot of different kinds of generations.
That's a very good point, especially because people our parents' age had parents who were baby boomers and learned from them, and a lot of that guilt and shame is associated with that. Like our parents being like, "Ah, you shouldn't play video games. It's a waste of time." Or "You shouldn't play video games, they're demonic." Or "Oh, you shouldn't play video games, insert reason here."
Shouldn't read books because whatever. You know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we interpret things the way we do. They inspire us the way we do.
Mhm.
We create art from what's around us, and
Yeah.
what we grew up with was video games, and so we see it in a specific way.
Mhm. Yeah, it is the source. It is the source code, if you will.
Yes. Yes.
Which as a human being, that's kinda just how we're built. We stick to what we know, and we just sort of elaborate on it
Yes.
in a lot of ways, and that's okay, we're not really designed to be much more than that, and that's kind of comforting in a way. Know thy limits. I think there's importance in that, and then finding things that you can master with the time that you have, and if that's making art or music or whatever, or nothing, or whatever.
Mhm.
I think just recognizing the limitations is healthy in a way, and it took a long time to come to grips with that, but, I'm okay with that now.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
this got this got real.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
what I was hoping.
It's beautiful. Thanks for letting me splurge there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. Um, I will seek out the recording of last weekend from Kevin. Maybe we can make this sort of a regular Saturday thing.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Whichever of any of us can meet up on Discord to chat, because Yes, Cody, playing video games is very therapeutic, but also talking about them is maybe even more so.
I
It's
think
like
so.
how I meditate.
Yeah, it's real good.
I just chew over mantras like, yes, bio freaks. And it just brings inner peace.
It's good.
I'm
Um,
honestly blown away at the level of knowledge that between the two of you, you are like seriously like an encyclopedia of video game knowledge. That kind of blows my mind. And if you throw Kevin in the mix, you guys are like a supercomputer of knowledge with a third person. I mean, I'm happy to be a part of this, but I feel like in comparison, all three of you outweigh my knowledge of video games vastly. So
Well, I don't know, Mike. You have beaten the fuck out of Dark Souls, and I don't think I ever will.
I played like 45 minutes of Robotron 64 today.
that was beautiful. Was it on your 64?
Somebody ever drive? It's so good.
That's
That is
beautiful.
a fantastic game, actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yes, I dig that one. That's one of those early 3D games that actually worked really well.
Yeah,
The whole sense of color in that game is kind of hypnotic.
it's really, really good.
I don't think I ever played Robotron 64. I played a lot of 64 games, but I did not play Robotron.
It's like it's a very arcadey port, like, but it's good.
Was it action platformer or like what kind of game was it?
No, like twin stick shooter, I guess, kind of.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
okay. Okay. And that's another thing that you guys have in common is games like Red Faction or like Robotron, first person shooter games were never really on my list of games that I played.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
very inexperienced with first person shooters.
Well, to clarify, like Robotron was like a top down.
Oh, like Smash TV?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it is like Smash TV.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
But true. Like I definitely have a lot of affection for stuff like Doom and Halo, and well, a little bit of Halo, but actually like Time Splitters is my jam.
Hmm.
Time Splitters Feature Perfect is like the best FPS I've ever played.
Yeah, those games are fantastic. I liked 2 a lot.
Yeah, two is great, and Future Perfect or 3 is also great
Man, why wasn't there a Metroid Deathmatch on the GameCube?
because
Oh
it was
man.
on DS.
No, that's right. Hunters.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Forgot about Hunters.
and then they put one on the multiplayer of Metroid Prime 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I ever played that.
You never played Prime 2?
No, I played Prime 2, but not the multi.
Yeah, apparently it was pretty good. I don't know. I've
It
never
was
played
fun.
it either.
The multiplayer was pretty cool. You could turn into a morph ball and kill people. That was pretty satisfying. Uh, yeah, it was fun. I forgot about that. And people
Well,
griped.
maybe
Oh,
we
sorry.
can just pray that Metroid Prime 4 has multiplayer.
Maybe that's why it's taking so long.
Hmm.
They're like, oh man, we can't master these morph ball mechanics correctly. We can't release this, guys. It's not ready yet.
You know, if we ever do a meetup of this discussion, whatever we decide to name it, we got to do
Heart Blaster.
yeah.
Yes.
Got to
We got
do
mhm.
Donkey Kong 64 deathmatch.
Oh yeah.
Super down.
Yeah, maybe we can try and connect a RetroArch game.
Mm.
Play Donkey Kong 64 online.
Is that Kingsley?
Yeah, can you hear him?
I thought I recognized that meow.
He's
See, I
just
have my
wandering
door
around.
closed so our cat can't meow too, but
Yeah. Kingsley doesn't know what to do right now.
Are you the only one home? Is that why he's freaking out?
No, the roommates are here. They're just in their room and not letting him in.
Oh, gotcha. So he just being loud.
Yep.
He's being a
And
cranky
he doesn't
cat.
come in my room anymore because I shoved him out of my room by his face so many times.
Yeah. Well, after he pooped on your bed a couple times,
Yeah,
revenge pooped on your bed.
yeah, multiple times.
That's not. Yeah. That's
That
justifiable.
motherfucker. Yes.
You don't want his poop anywhere near your room anymore.
No. But I still can't help petting him in the morning on my way out the door. 'Cause he's just so cute.
He can be pretty cute. He can.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's still a cat. He knows what he's doing.
Uh-huh. And he's so fluffy.
He really is. His fur is very soft. It's a fluffy cat. Sorry, I just started talking about cats.
what's up in it, guys?
Yo. I feel like wrapping it up.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
I
been
think
excellent.
I think we went to some really great places here.
I agree.
Thanks, guys, for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. It's awesome. Glad we all got to get together.
I will am eternally available. Like I will do this whenever.
Hell
Awesome.
yes. Maybe next weekend we can get Kevin in on this.
Hell yes.
Get a 4-person dialogue. That'd be excellent.
I think
Yeah,
that
and
would be
hopefully
good.
by next week we can have some new topics too.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think we can have the Vegas stuff, and I think we all have stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
I dug this sort of like random game jam we got into.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
that
it's
was
good
fun.
to like go around and say like, hey, who's been playing what?
Definitely. And it
Yeah.
keeps the conversation light and fresh too.
Yes. Oh, so fresh.
These beats are fresh. Snap.
If you guys ever travel north, you can stay at my house. Just saying.
All right.
Okay. I
Wonderful.
will burn the smokehouse to the ground, and then I'll come visit you.
No, don't do that. There's money in the banana stand.
There was literally $250,000 in cash lying in the walls of that banana stand.
But I have a pool, so like you guys come on.
Well, that's a tempting offer.
Yeah, no, please do because it sucks. You don't want a pool. You want a friend with a pool. I'm your friend with a pool. Come swim. Pools suck. They're expensive and shitty. Like it's great to have though. It's worth it. Just ugh.
Well, I'll bring a tent. We can camp in your backyard and, pandemic friendly, do a podcast on your back porch somewhere.
Yeah.
Do a review of Sonic Shuffle.
I have Sonic Shuffle and enough. Yeah, and I have 4 Dreamcast controllers. So yeah, let's do it.
Jesus.
Like legitimately.
That is excellent. Oh, this sounds like a mission already, like the mission on which we must all embark.
The next pressure stone is over here, is what they say.
Oh my god.
Well, you're just gonna have to show us. It won't be as beautiful unless experienced in person.
You have to collect all the precious stones.
All right, I'll just leave this recording. Cody, you can just sort of monologue about Sonic Shuffle for the next 2 hours.
So you start, and then Fairy comes out, and she's like, "You have to get all the stones," and it's so dumb. And there's only like 3 mini games. It's awful, and